What's going on, members of the Burger Empire? Brian here for Body by Burgers, and the subject for today's video is not going to be weight loss related. It's not going to be fitness related, but I do think it is a health related topic that needs to be addressed. I personally didn't even know that this actually existed, and it's kind of funny how I actually discovered it, and I discovered it by, believe it or not, watching a gameplay video by a pretty big YouTuber named Jacksepticeye. He started playing a game called Robin, and I didn't know that the game was actually about what I'm going to be talking about right now. First off, I want to say that I don't know if this is something that I suffer from, because I've never knew about it until like 2 days ago. But when I had heard about it, I dumped a bunch of time and research into discovering what it was. The official name for it is actually called chronic fatigue syndrome, or CFS. Like I said, I don't know that I particularly have this, but I feel like I've experienced a lot of the symptoms that come along with it. The unfortunate part about CFS is that it's kind of a medical mystery. So they don't really know what causes it, and they don't know if there is a way to fix it or cure it. To kind of get into the, I guess, logistics of it and how I felt recently, and how things have kind of shown parallels to what this syndrome actually is. It's really tough. I'm not making excuses for like the lack of content, or the lack of the facelift that's happening, or the lack of the change of the videos. I'm trying to get something else that I truly believe needs attention out there. To best describe chronic fatigue syndrome, from the symptoms that I've shown, and maybe not, like I said, I don't know that I have this because I haven't gone to a doctor, but the signs and symptoms that I empathize with, I guess is the best way to put it, is that you feel like you never have enough sleep. And that was quite evident to me one night when I really, for those of you that don't know me, I am kind of a night owl. I really don't go to bed until it's like 11:30, midnight, 1 o'clock, because that's when I can actually fall asleep. My exhaustion levels had gotten to the point last week where I was going to bed earlier and earlier and earlier and earlier, to the point where I was actually in bed at like 9:45 one night, and I had slept straight through till almost 10 o'clock. When I woke up, it took 2 hours. 2 hours after waking up, dark circles under my eyes, completely exhausted, only wanting my bed. When you wake up that way, it's tough to get things done. Everything becomes a chore. Literally everything. The job I have now, I literally work 9 to 5, Monday to Friday. Last week when I was getting to work, I wake up about 7:30 in the morning, gather up my lunch, have my breakfast, have a shower, go to work. There was points last week that by the time I walked in the door for work, printed off the things that I needed to print off, I was already tired. I still had 7.5 hours to go on my shift. I didn't let that stop me from doing my workouts. I didn't let that stop me from doing a lot of things, but I know that my workouts could have been better. I know I could have probably gotten a lot more done at work, but it really kills the motivation that you have. You go through the day thinking that there's not enough time in the day because you need all this sleep. I had very little motivation to do anything. If it wasn't my job, I really didn't want to do it. The unfortunate part about this, because your exhaustion levels, unfortunately, they start here, but because your body feels like it never has enough rest, it starts here and then it slowly increases. And every single day that goes by, everything becomes harder because your exhaustion levels keep going up. It's tough. Literally by the end of that week, and things have gotten better, but I feel like this is always going to be some sort of roller coaster. It's tough to get motivated. Your exhaustion levels always increase, and it's tough to prioritize things. This past week, I really wanted to have my YouTube channels become my priority. Wake up, go to work, get the job done, but come home and focus and do things to both my YouTube channels that I've promised you guys for a long time. The makeover, the whatever you want to call it. And I just haven't gotten to it. Not because I don't have the time, because I've been too tired. Again, I'm not saying that I have chronic fatigue syndrome, but a lot of the parallels of how it feels, or the symptoms and what I'm experiencing and how I'm feeling, is what's going on here. Now, to kind of explain why chronic fatigue syndrome is a medical mystery, there's no cure for it, unfortunately, or no known cure for it yet. But they also don't know what causes it. There's lots of speculation and there's lots of theories as to what does cause it. Anything ranging from like viral infections, so if you've been sick for a long time, which to me would make sense because your body is trying to fight and battle and recover. So anything from viral infections all the way up to psychological stress. And for me, I believe the psychological stress part of it would be probably the I guess biggest contributing factor to why I'm experiencing these symptoms. The new position at work hasn't been as smooth as a transition that I've been hoping. Still stressed out about getting things done there. I put a lot of pressure on myself to continue to improve my content on my YouTube channels, to improve my physical health, to improve just me. And sometimes when you feel like that's not happening, I mean, it is, but not happening to the degree that I want it to happen, it really kind of weighs on you. I honestly thought that at this point in doing YouTube, in doing health and fitness, that I've been doing YouTube for January 15th of 2016 was my first upload. And I thought that this was going to be the motivation that I needed to lose all the weight. I'd lost some and I had some success, but I wasn't happy. I'm still not. And I really thought I was going to be farther along in my weight loss than I am now. We are 15 months into this journey. I thought I'd be under 300 pounds by now. I thought I'd be hovering like 270, be well over 100 pounds lost, but I'm not. And I think that's where a lot of my psychological stress is coming from, is because I thought that I'd be much further along than I am when it comes to my health and fitness, my weight loss. And I thought I'd be a lot further along in viewership, in subscriptions, I thought I'd be a lot bigger than I am on YouTube. Not this. I stress because this is what I want to do for you guys. I want to be able to provide amazing content. I want to be able to bring things like this to light that may not be as well known to the general public, to motivate you guys to say that you can lose the weight, to inspire, to give you guys advice along the way, be a support system. Because I haven't lost as much weight as I wanted to lose by now, I kind of feel like I've been a failure. Now I know I'm not, obviously, but with the psychological stress that I've been giving myself, it really doesn't help. That is what I think is leading to me being exhausted all the time, to showing signs and symptoms of chronic fatigue syndrome. As far as I'm concerned, sure, there's going to be a cure, and that cure would be finding what causes it. And there, like I said, there is that broad spectrum of anything from a viral infection to these psychological stresses. All I can do for you guys is bear down, lose the weight, tell you guys how I'm doing it, try and grow the channel, and be the best me that I can be. I'm gonna leave it there. I don't want to get into it too much. I dove into it way too much. I didn't want to talk about how I'm feeling with the way YouTube's going, with the way let's just say I really didn't feel like that I was going to talk about the feelings that I'm feeling and why I'm experiencing this. I really just kind of wanted to go over the signs and symptoms, and then I started getting into how I'm feeling about it. But we'll leave it there. This wasn't meant to be a sap story by any means. It was just meant to bring light to a subject that I don't think has enough light, if that makes any sense. I just want to say that because I have no idea if I actually suffer from this, I want to say to the people that actually suffer from this, I really empathize with you guys. I feel like I'm on my way to no longer being exhausted, because I feel like I'm getting better videos, better content, but it's just, I empathize for you guys. I wish there was more that we could do for you guys that do suffer from chronic fatigue syndrome. And it sucks because I get it. I've had 2 weeks, or at least the last week and a half, where I physically can't do anything because I don't get enough rest. So I just wanted to bring light to that subject. That's the video for today, guys. I'm going to leave it there. I know I said that like 3 times already, but I'm going to leave that there. If this has helped you guys kind of understand, you know, maybe it's not depression, but maybe it's just they literally are exhausted all the time, and there's nothing they can do about it. For certain people out there, being exhausted all the time, it sucks. There's not much we can do about it, unfortunately, and I'm hoping the more people that get on this bandwagon bring and get more exposure for this syndrome, maybe they can find what causes it, then maybe we can find out the way to solve it. It's a different subject, but hopefully that didn't bring you guys down too much. I just wanted to get this more exposure. Don't worry about me. I'm working on it. I'm fine. I promise you I'm fine. Things are getting better everywhere. I will leave you on the note that if you are feeling this way, I will put links to my email addresses, my Facebook page. You guys get a hold of me there if you need some sort of support, or if you, whatever the case may be, if you need anything from me, I will be glad to help. And until next time, everybody, burger power.